This podcast series was recorded with our colleague Cameron Cunningham, who at the time was the Addictions and Recovery Program Coordinator at NBA. Although he no longer works with us, we still believe strongly in the content we created, and we hope you enjoy. Welcome back, friends, to Holy Scrolls, where faith meets tech. I am Bere Gil Soto.
And I'm Cameron Cunningham, and we are so glad that you are back to continue this conversation about social media, young adults, and the way technology shapes our mental health, relationships, and even our spiritual lives.
Today, we're diving into the psychology behind FOMO, the fear of missing out, identity, success through the lenses of social media.
Yes, this podcast is a collaboration between NBA's Addiction and Recovery Initiative and the Young Adult Leadership Development Program.
And as you can see, today we are joined by one of our guests, Barbara Borroto. And I've known Barbara for several years, and I am so thrilled that she's here with us for this conversation. Let me tell you a little bit of who Barbara is. I knew her, and I met her really because one of the programs at NBA, the peer learning and wellness groups, and we spent 2 years journeying together, growing, joking, and diving deep into so many things. But I want to share with you a little bit of who she is so that you get the idea of our guest today. Barbara is a compassionate mental health professional who is passionate about helping people feel seen, supported, and capable of creating meaningful change in their lives. With years of experience in psychosocial rehabilitation, she works closely with individuals to build confidence, strengthen communication, and navigate everyday challenges with clarity and purpose. Barbara believes that every person has a story worth understanding, and she takes pride in creating a safe space, encouraging space with clients so that they can grow at their own pace. Her warm, and you get to see her, and her down to earth approach allows her to connect genuinely with others, meeting them exactly where they are. In addition to her clinical work, Barbara brings over 8 years of leadership and customer service experience, which has shaped her ability to listen deeply. Boy, do you need that as customer service, and respond with empathy and guide others with patience. Woof. She
Yeah.
is committed to helping people discover their strengths and build healthier and more fulfilling lives. This is our guest, Barbara Barotto.
Yay!
Yes. Woo! Welcome,
Happy to
Barbara.
be
Welcome,
here. Thank you
Barbara.
so much.
Yes. No, thank you for being here. And again,
Of
thank you
course.
and welcome everyone. So let's get to it. We are going to have a great conversation today. Comparison isn't new, but digital
Mhm.
spaces surely has changed how we experience it. The scroll, it compresses distance, and it literally makes everything, all parts of our life at the click of one touch. And that's
Mhm.
inspiring, but it can also be disorienting too. So that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about how it feels and what forms that in us. So let's begin just with a general question. I believe it's a question that many of us have felt, even if we haven't named it. And that question is, how does social media, shape our identity and even shape how we approach and think about what success looks like? And that's just a general conversation starter.
Ah,
Okay, cool. I guess I'll start.
Okay.
yes, go for it, girl.
You know, I it's crazy because I think a lot about before social media and how we would compare ourselves to the people in our circle, and that didn't feel so great. But then now with social media, we compare ourselves to thousands of thousands of thousands of thousands of people. And it's one of those things where it's like, it absolutely does shape your taste. It shapes the way you dress, the things you do, the way you act. A lot of the times, if you see like somebody who you grew up with in high school now on social media, and they're like this gym rat, right? Like they go to the gym all the time, and you're like, I want to do that just because that person you knew is doing it too. And you may go to the gym and love it. You may go to the gym and not love it. And now you realized, okay, that's not me, or I'm going to push through because that's what everybody's era is right now. That's what everybody's into, the gym and this and that. So
The
I do
CrossFit
believe,
era. Yeah.
yes. So I do, or the diet fad, that like
Yes.
everyone's on this diet. Maybe I should try it too. It does shape the way that you even
Absolutely.
communicate with others. It does shape the way that you now start to live your life. And it's one of those things where maybe within your circle you're more alike than someone else, or you can identify certain things that are true to you, but when you're on social media, it's like the wild west. It's
Mm.
like you're on your own, but at the same time you want to fit in, so you
Yeah.
try to mold yourself and shape yourself to the popular people who are, whose videos are going blowing up, and you want to be a part of that. Why not? Like, why would you not want to be like that?
Yeah, and it's crazy because part of the when you said before social media, we used to compare ourselves with like the people around us, and sometimes even the circles now around us, the physical circles around us, they can become even like the quote, right, preaching to the choir. Like it's just the same, and I don't know, like we don't even get the physicality of comparing ourselves and even talking about what we're up to because, oh, I know that Barbara, she uploaded this video, so she might be, and I get the idea of who you are because of what you're showing
Mm.
online, and I'm comparing to the version of you or the version of people that I follow, but it's the online version. Meanwhile,
Mm.
there are so many now documentaries out there of people whose lives we thought we knew, and we're like, oh, hold on.
Right,
Like,
right,
this was
right.
not them? What
Yes.
happened?
And
Yeah.
there's a lot of creators now too that are going online with a filter, and then they're posting themselves again without that filter.
Mhm.
And they're like, it's so easy to alter our face, our body, our shape. Like if I don't want my hip to look a certain way, I can
Yes.
alter it even in a video now. It doesn't have to be a picture. Before it used to just be a picture. And sometimes you could tell too. You were like, that's edited. But now it's gotten so good that even in a video with movement, you can alter your shape, you can alter anything about yourself, and it's very difficult to tell. So imagine like the younger generation that are just getting into social media that have all platforms. Of course, it's
Jeez.
shaping their identity. They're looking at themselves in the mirror and they're like, I'm not good enough just because of everything that they're seeing online. And 99% of it has a filter, has a color change, has everybody's insecurity has been fixed online, which you can't do that in,
Wow.
yeah, you can't do that in person, right? Like I can probably put some makeup under my dark circles and hide it a little bit, but
Right, right.
eventually you're going to see me without the makeup on, and you're going to realize, and that's my insecurity. But online, I can always show up without dark circles. And you
Mm.
would never know if you've never met me in real person. So that's a tricky part. Excuse me, I feel like a lot of the times our identity will be bothered by those things because it's what we see. It's that version of that person. And we may want to be just like them. So we start altering ourselves and we kind of hide behind that. We start
Mm.
adding filters to our real life. We talk different, we act different, we wear different clothes, whether we
Yeah.
feel comfortable in them or not. That's kind of like our real life filter, right?
Yeah.
But
That's the
once you
thing
strip
too.
all that, yeah,
Yeah.
once you strip all of that, you realize
Yes.
like, so what do I like to do? Who am I? Who really am I? What do I really like to eat that? Or am I just eating it because everybody else does? Like, I don't know about you guys, but matcha is terrible.
Oh my gosh, I have to out myself. I do like it. We
Oh
don't
Okay.
kill
my
them.
Okay.
God. And it's so funny because everybody online all of a sudden loves matcha lattes.
I
And
I
it's
love.
like,
I'm one of those who says I loved it before it became
but do
famous.
you add
Okay.
extra stuff to it though? Because I've heard people just drink straight up matcha powder and milk and they're good to go. And then some people add lavender syrup or honey. And it's just like, if you gotta dress it up, it's not good. Like you don't
So
really like
I
it.
mix chai. I mix chai and matcha. So
Well,
it's
there
like
you
an
go.
it's
That's not
that's
matcha.
great.
There, it's like coffee. Like some people are like, "Oh my God, I love coffee," and it's just like, "But do you add all these creamers
Oh
and
yeah,
all
no,
this
those are
fancy
desserts. The
stuff?"
ones that all the
Yeah, so
Starbucks
it's
and
like,
all
do
those
you
are
really
desserts. Yeah.
do you really like coffee? No,
Yeah,
you just like the creamer that you're adding to your
add it
coffee
to it.
because you can't just chug the creamer on its own.
No, yeah, no, this is really good. This is really good, and I don't know. It just makes me think about how the idea of success, and specifically with comparison in mind, you named that, Barbara, really has less to do with identity oftentimes,
Mm.
and it's more so this chase of showcasing or cloaking yourself in what we believe success should look like. And I just think about like when I was in seminary and I was on like this 3-year journey and I'm in this transitional phase and it's not public. It's slow, it's
Mhm.
unseen. I'm like, oh, I finished another semester and 6 more to go. I mean, and I'm seeing all of my peers and the success online, it seems to be measurable. They're doing these achievements in their early professional careers, and it's like these short bursts of visible, measurable growth. And I'm like, wow, like I'm, in the wilderness trying to get a master's of
Right.
divinity.
I'm over
but
here.
it, yes, yes. But again, it made me think about, this question of identity and how oftentimes, even our faith traditions remind us oftentimes that true transformation, it doesn't happen in the public space. So no,
Mhm.
thank you for sharing that. Anything else right there? Anything else burning right there?
Well, especially talking about ministry, and when Barbara and I were talking about the invitation for this podcast, it came, it was not something that we had thought initially, but when you were talking, Cameron, about this, made me think of when COVID hit and how terrible in a way it was, that at least from my perspective as a pastor back then, how this social media presence that now everybody is having, on the one hand, was a blessing because people were able to connect with others. We were worshiping online together with our folks who live in very different parts of the world, and that was connecting us in many ways. And at the same time, it started this comparison trap
Mhm.
of, oh, I see Barbara's church is doing this, and oh, we should do it too. We definitely can do it. And then
Mhm.
try to start internally, maybe competing. And with this idea, especially what you were saying, Cameron, of what success look like, right? And what do we do? Why do we do about what we do? Um, is it because we want more likes on our live stream from church? Or is it because we just want to have it out there so that whoever listens at whatever point of their life is blessed by it? Or we want to have the latest
Yeah.
equipment and tech?
I think overall we just want to be liked. We
Mm,
want to be liked. We want to fit in. you
Hello,
know Being outside of the crowd is dangerous. Like even in the animal world, you want to be with
with the pack.
other with your pack,
Yeah.
exactly. And if they signal you're out, you're on your own, and it's dangerous. You can die, you can out of hunger, because all of a sudden you become prey. So I think it's just human nature. You want to be liked, you want to fit in, you don't want to be signaled out because you're an outsider. And it's funny because it's like everything that social media teaches you at the same time, but it's not. It's like social media tells you stand out, be yourself. You can
Mm,
come on these platforms and do you. But then you show up and you don't get the likes, you don't get the views. And it
yes.
could hit you. And if you're not firm in your identity and who you are and why you're doing it, right? If you don't have a purpose as to
hello.
why you're doing social media, you're going to feel left out. You're going to feel like, what am I doing wrong? Why am I not showing up? Or I mean, I'm showing up, but nothing's happening. And you
Hmm.
tend to question your purpose. You tend to question yourself. And all of a sudden, what you started your platform for becomes irrelevant. because now it's about the likes. Now it's about, are people seeing my stuff, or is the algorithm showing my stuff to who it needs to show? God, why is this happening? Like you start just to question everything. But the whole point was to be an individual. The whole point was to be, do you and do what you love and show up however you want. But then all of a sudden it's like, that's not reality. That's not how social media works anymore.
Yes. Wow. Wow. Wow.
But I do think it's human nature. Like it is human nature to want to be a part of something, especially if the people around you, maybe, the people that are your age are doing it too. If everybody all of a sudden starts loving ice skating and you're like, I've never ice skated in my life. Am I going to try this now? And everybody around you is doing it and they're being successful. You might try it. It's like that peer pressure, but it's like unspoken peer pressure. Your circle may not be telling you like, come on, let's do it. But you feel like you have to, because everyone around you is doing it. So it's like, it's that battle of like, am I going to stay true to who I am and continue doing what I'm doing, even though it's not pleasing to everyone, but it is to me, it's fulfilling to me. It's my calling. It's my purpose. Am I going to stay true to that? Or am I going to step out and be liked and try to win the views and try to win, the little hearts on my lives and on my videos? I remember when I started going live, I would get like 1 or 2 people just watching my lives.
You all should go follow her, by the way. We're going to give the candle right here.
And I would just sit there. Yeah, it's hilarious. It really is very funny. I look back and I cringe at my stuff. I'm like, oh my God, I should take this out. But it's funny because a lot of the times it's, I'm a mom. So a lot of the time my kid just runs into the video and those are the ones I look back and I'm like, I should probably delete that. And then it's like, no, but this is my life. Like, this is my reality. And it could resonate with someone else out there. Like, I could be struggling with depression and I could still be a good mom. I could be struggling financially and I could still be a good mom. I could still show up for people. So it shows a different side of it, but it's tough. It's hard when you put all your effort into a video and only 3 people watch it. And that could affect you like emotionally. You're like, dang, I thought that was a good topic, or I thought that was, and I'm over here
that with pastors in our sermons.
Yes, exactly. Where the pastor takes all his pride and all to do the sermon, and then 5 people show up to sermon, to the service.
Right,
like
right.
You feel like
out of those 5, nobody says nothing at the end of the sermon.
Or they said, I've heard this before.
Right.
Like, you didn't say anything different today, Pastor. What happened? And you're like, ooh. But yeah, it's part of it. I think it's human nature to want to be liked and a part of something.
I mean, it's part of the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? Ultimately, that we want to be liked and accepted and all of
and
those
it's survival.
things.
I think at the same time, it's survival. It's in us. Like, that's part of survival as a human being. Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow.
No, taking it all in.
I know.
I'm like trying to process all of this. So this is so enriching. I think this is a great place for us to pause for a minute and to let you hear what is happening in the life of the NBA and how you can engage with us. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We're just getting started in this conversation. We'll be right back.
Applications are now open for the 1-year peer learning and wellness group for disciples affiliated Black, Indigenous, and other women of color ages 22 to 30. If you are looking to experience community, spiritual renewal, and leadership support, this is for you. The group will meet online twice a month and will experience 2 in-person retreats. Applications close March 1st. If you want to learn more about this peer group, please visit nbacares.org/bywalk. NBA's mission and ministry grants are now open through March 25th. These grants provide funding for disciples, congregations, and organizations serving older adults 50 years and older, or educating at-risk youth and young adults 10 to 25 years old. Check out all the details and frequently asked questions about this grant at nbacares.org/mm-grants. There are 2 upcoming virtual events happening. On March 4th, NBA's Older Adult Ministries will host the What Silver Chalice Offers the Life of the Church webinar. And on March 26th, NBA's community engagement team presents a webinar called From Montgomery to Minneapolis, Organizing in Times of Disruption. Discover more and register for this and other events at nbacares.org/events.
Thank you. I hope that you enjoyed that short break, hearing what's happening at the NBA. Listen, we're continuing this rich conversation. I have always heard that comparison is the thief of joy.
Mm,
And I don't know, I've come to understand and learn that comparison isn't always negative. It just depends on the lens that we're using and
mm,
looking through. So I want to, introduce or explore the tensions of that. I want to explore
that's good.
um, the tensions of, can comparison at any time ever be healthy or even motivating to a person?
Mm, man, I mean, I think it can be good. Just as you said, a lot of the times we demonize comparison, and even growing up, oh, don't be comparing yourself to others. And just be you, and but nobody teaches you how to be you, right? So you actually
Right.
need a model, even like a kid. Barbara was just talking about her kid, and now I'm raising my own kid too, and so we need models. We need models, and even from a perspective of our faith. Uh, that's why, as Christians, we have Jesus as our model. And so I think that there is richness and a healthy side, of course, to
Mhm.
comparison. It just falls under who do we choose to compare, and the motives. I loved how Barb brought us back to questioning ourselves. What's the purpose? What's the why we're doing this? And so even with
Right.
comparison, right? Like, why are we comparing ourselves to this multi-million-dollar influencer online that their life and my life ain't like comparable in any
Yeah.
way,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, even in twins, you see differences, right?
I
Like,
would say, because I would hate my brother, I don't would not hate my brother, but I would
Okay.
hate that people would compare me with my brother because,
Yes,
mhm.
yes.
he's the super outgoing and he was like the mischievous guy. And so I would always come to school after, a couple of years after he would be in school,
Mhm.
and everybody would read my last name and would be like, oh, Gil Soto.
Mm.
Oh, what are you? Are you
You're gonna be
related
just
to?
like him.
And my mom
And
taught
you were
me, and
like,
she said, whoever is trying to compare you, you tell them the fingers of the hand are together, and even the fingers are different from one another.
yes, yes. I think
So,
we tend to forget too, like every point A through Z is that process of that person's journey that you probably didn't get a view from, right? Because again, if we bring it back to social media, people are only going to post their happy moments. Most of
Mm,
the time people aren't posting their struggles and
mm,
or their fault. Like for example, I started so good and then all of a sudden I failed for 2 days and then I started back up. Most of the time you're not going to see those 2 days that they failed, right?
mm,
They will post day 1, 2, 3, and then 4 and 5 they messed up, and 6, but that 6 becomes now their 4th day, not their 6th day, and then you can see the failing part. So that's important to always remember. We're not perfect human beings. Everyone fails. Everyone, even the strongest minded people, mess up. Even the most financially savvy person makes a bad investment.
mhm.
Even, the most dedicated pastor in a church messes up, because at the end of the day, we're all human and we all make
right,
mistakes.
right.
So I think we just need to keep that in mind every time we go into social media and we compare our now to that person's step in their journey. That's not where
Mm,
they want to be, but that's what they're deciding to show you, right? Because that's where they feel comfortable, or they've already achieved a percentage of their goal, but not necessarily. If you're just seeing it, that's your start. Their 50% is your 1%. So
Mm.
Yeah.
there's no way you can compare that person's sacrifice, that person's, decisions, financial sacrifice, whatever it is that they had to do to get to that point where they're finally comfortable enough to show you. There's no way if you're just coming across that content that you can feel bad about not being there. Like you're just starting. You just started. So I think we just need to keep that in mind. We tend to get lost in the scroll, right? Just everybody that we see loves it and loves it. And then you're like, okay, maybe I need to love it too. But then the
Right.
reality is like, why do I need to love that?
Yeah.
If I've always been a coffee drinker, why do I now need to start drinking matcha?
Mm.
Girl, you're hating on matcha real good today. Like
I
hard.
really don't like
Hard.
matcha.
I'm gonna go make myself some matcha after this. I'm gonna text
And
you
just
the
sip
picture.
it right now while we're talking. Listen, I really don't like matcha, and I tried. I would do it by itself. It tastes like dirt to me every single time. Maybe I don't know what I'm doing.
Maybe
Maybe I got the wrong
I'll send
brand
you
of
the one that
matcha.
I'm using. But
You need
no,
to
going
send
back,
me the brand you drink.
that's right. But going back to what you were saying, it makes me think of something that Cameron mentioned on the first episode, that social media can be inspirational and aspirational,
Yes.
which I loved. I love that because I think that it is a disservice to ourselves if we are just using our algorithm and our social media influencers or content creators, whatever the accounts that we follow, just as aspiration.
Mm.
Mm,
Like, oh, this is what I, want to be. This is how I want to be. This is where I
right,
want to, like, if we're just using an aspiration, I think that we're just going to get so much depressed than what
Yes.
we
right,
may be already. Because we'll be like,
right,
oh, just as you were saying, like, I'm not there.
right,
Um,
right.
but yeah, I love that, Cameron, when you said that that's
And that's why I post how I post. Some of my videos, I look like this and my hair is done and I look put together. But in some of my videos, I look like I just woke up. Okay, my hair's up in a bun. I have zero makeup on and I'm still delivering a word. I'm still trying to inspire you. I'm still trying to uplift you. So at the end of the day, it has two motives. One, to motivate you, right? To get you out of that funk, to pick you
Mm.
up, to remove that depression, that fear of moving into your person, into your purpose. And number two, to show you that it could still look like this.
Mm.
You can be up and, on fire for Jesus, and you can be doing all your goals and accomplishing it, but it doesn't need to look like the fancy cars. It doesn't need to look like the labeled clothing. It doesn't need to look like the huge bank account. It could still look like you just woke up and haven't even had a cup of coffee or anything to drink, right? Or breakfast.
right, right.
So,
Yes. Yes.
it's about that. Like it's about still realizing that your favorite content creator didn't start. Like look at their journey. If you just pick one person and look at their journey and go back to their first couple of videos, you're gonna be like, "Oof, that's rough."
My nose is so has done that. I'm like, let's see how you started.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, you need to go back because that's how you realize people need
Yeah.
to start. At the end of the day, you will start and you're not going to have the best camera. A lot of people stop themselves from creating content or even showing up anywhere because, oh, until I get the better phone, oh, or until I get the better clothes. And at the end of the day, it's like you look back to your most successful social media influencers and they started with really bad videos, right? Like they barely had views. They didn't really talk about anything. They were just there like, okay, guys, so here I am. Very awkward. And now they're
And all of
just
them
this.
are accidental.
Yes.
Exactly.
They become influencers or how do you say viral accidentally.
Right.
Just
Through
being
one
them.
video, one post, one video. That's all it takes. And again, that's not the goal. So that's why I feel like a lot of people tend to lose that, that reality. Because if the goal is to just go viral and have one good video in your entire, feed, then okay, like for what? You still need to ask yourself the motive. Like, why do I want to
Yes.
do that? Why is that going to make me feel successful? Versus if your point is to inspire
Mhm.
and motivate others, then your content will show it for itself, right? You will see more follows, more views because you're showing up for that. That is your purpose. So at the end of the day, I think your purpose will speak for you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it will eventually shape who you are in this social media world versus like everyone else. There will be a distinction of this person, even if you speak about the same niche as everybody else,
Right,
even if
right.
you're under the same umbrella as everybody else, you will see that there are differences.
Yeah.
Yes. No, that is really good. I'm thinking about this, and you help me as it relates to just clarity, how comparison, it clarifies goals. But
Mhm.
thank you all for really naming the corrosive nature of tying comparison to worth.
Mm,
Um, and it makes me think about the power of of like algorithms, all of our
Mm.
algorithms and the way in which, they are not only designed to respond, but to train,
Mm.
to influence, to show us particular values, lifestyles, and it's such a repeated nature that, these desires almost become normalized because we see
Yes.
them
All
all
the
the
time.
time.
right,
Yes.
right, right.
So I'm just
It's
thinking
an
through like,
echo chamber. Yeah.
yes, yes.
It is.
So, I'm thinking of that and I'm like, well, that's not inherently dangerous, but I do think we've named that it requires awareness.
Mhm.
Especially when we're discussing or we're naming that values or even, your the fullness and the expressions of your creativity, subtly emerging through whatever you do in this nature of repetition. So I love
Mhm.
that. I want to what the time we have left, shift gears a little bit because Holy Scrolls podcast is surely a vulnerable and an honest space. And when we think about, what drives us to post or how the fear of missing out, FOMO,
Mhm.
really dictates what we do or what we do not do. What I find interesting is that comparison doesn't always show up loudly.
Mm,
So sometimes it shows up through what we choose not to share. So I want to just go deeper
Mhm.
there.
Ooh.
wow.
There's been times where I have just, not sharing. So I want to just ask the question, have you ever posted just to prove you're okay, not to celebrate,
Mm.
but simply to appear okay? And that's just
Just to
so
show up, just to be like, I'm still here, guys.
I'm here.
Yikes. I'll
Yeah.
let you start, Betty.
I did. So, and this is no secret. So during my last maybe couple of years when I was pastoring, so I was dealing with pretty severe burnout. Not I knew not until later. Um, and so it was really hard. I was struggling, and as I mentioned in previous episodes, I use Instagram more of a personal uh, media, and Facebook is more of a work media. And so there used to be this joking hashtag that I used, that it was hashtag everyday I'm pastoring. And I would just put, the good stuff
Mhm.
of pastoring. And so the visits that people would invite me, and the sancocho that they would serve me, or, the chalupas or everything. And so it was usually about food. And it was so interesting that when I was just the most overwhelmed, I just stopped posting
Mhm.
at all in my life. I just completely disengaged. And one of my best friends from back home in Mexico, she texted me one day and she was like, "So every day I'm pastoring ain't happening, and nothing else is happening on your social media. Like,
Mhm.
what are you hiding?"
Mm.
And so, yeah, so I was trying to post the positives and the good. And when I realized, yeah, this is not like, even as good as this is, and I loved it, I'm still struggling, and I'm just posting
Yeah.
the
Hmm.
good, right? And so, yeah, definitely I did. I've done that. Now, as I told Cameron, I'm for the most part I'm a voyeurist, and I just enjoy watching other people online, and I don't
I've
post
been that
much.
lately. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I definitely when I gave birth the second time, so my youngest is 3,
Okay.
and the first 3 months were so different than my first child. And different and rough. Like I don't remember going through it as much with my first kiddo than with my second. And most of the time I was posting at 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning when I was awake with her, like in the trenches, okay? Like in the middle of it. And I would post like her on the couch and like me with the pumping machine right next to me. And it's just like it's pumping time, you know? And and it's
Mhm.
like 2 a.m., you know? And I would get moms responding. I would get
Yes.
moms like, "Oh my God, I'm here too.
Girl,
My kid doesn't sleep."
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I so it's like again, even like when I felt the loneliest, because of course, who's with me at 2 o'clock in the morning waiting for me to finish pumping so we can go to bed? Not my mom and not my husband, right? Like they're sleeping because they got the morning shift, you know? So it's like while I'm going through it, it felt very lonely. It felt like, oh my God, is this life? Like, what am I doing? But
Yeah.
it resonated so much. And it spoke to a lot of women, a lot of my friends on social media that weren't even active and posting daily about mom stuff are now posting about mom stuff and are now posting things about their regular schmegular mom life because we think this is a thing that we need to hide, right? Like the ugly parts of it, me again with my hair in a bun going food shopping, like if that's my real life and that's when God spoke to me and I have a word, why should I not post it and be like, hold on, Lord, let me put my makeup on. Then I'll go
Right.
on social media. Like, why not in that? You know? And it's just like, it goes to show you that, like, it speaks to me so much because it's like, God is in the good, but he's in the ugly too, you know? Like
Yes.
he's in
Yes.
the
Yes.
most beautiful parts of
Mm.
life and you can walk out on nature and be like, "Wow, Lord, you created this." But he's also, you know, in the ugly streets. He's also with that homeless man. That homeless man needs Jesus too. And a lot of the
Right.
times because of social media,
Mm.
we have like that filtered lens when it comes out to reality.
Mhm.
Like loving God is helping that homeless man, you know, loving God, and you don't have to post about that. You don't have to be like, here I am talking to
That
this homeless
part.
man. You
That
don't have
part.
to do that because God sees it all regardless, right?
It's
But
feel
if
good.
that's your, yes, but if that's your ministry, right? If that's where God called you to do, please post about that too. Don't just post about the Thanksgiving day that you gave away 200 boxes of food. Post about the next day when nobody's giving out food and you're still out and about giving out little bags of empanadas or I don't know, you know, like post about it because at the end of the day, that's going to speak to people. It's going to show
Yeah.
you that you're not just showing up on the big days and the big holidays for and you know boasting about here I am too giving away all this stuff. Like no, the next day you were at a stoplight and you had a cracker next to you and you preferred to give it to somebody who walked up to you instead of why not post about that? If God spoke to you in that moment,
Mm.
why shy away? Why hide that? Right? So I feel
Mhm.
like that's where there's a thin line in social media with people posting because of the likes and posting because that's your ministry and that's what you're called for. I know when I show up on social media, I have days like that too, Bere, where I just want to disappear and I have nothing to say and I have nothing to show and I don't want to. And I feel like that's where God like comes at me the most. He's like, "What are you talking about?" Yes, it's like, what do you mean
You've
you
been
have nothing
summoned.
to say? And that's where I get the most, and I'm like, oh my God, but I feel so defeated right now. Was on this, you know, good streak, and then all of a sudden I fell off. Like, how do I come back? And God's like, just show up. Just go
Mhm.
back on there.
Just
Just
show up.
show up.
Yeah.
Who cares if your hair's a mess? Just show up. Like, who
Yes.
cares if you're not in a good platform or your kid is screaming in the background? Like, just show up. A
Yes.
Mm.
mom out there will come and look at that content and be like, okay,
I feel
I'm
seen.
going through it too, you know?
Yes.
Listen, ain't that the Bible? Like, just
Come
show
on.
up, the good, the bad, and
Yes.
the
Come
ugly.
on. Just
Yes.
show
Yes. Yes.
Right.
up. Like a
Yes.
lot of the
Imagine.
times we do
Imagine.
shy away from that. And it's what I told you. A lot of people just post their happy moments, right?
Yeah.
When they're at a point where they feel successful enough or good enough, that's what they want to show you. But you don't see that journey. You don't see that struggle journey, right? Like our my husband and I right now are going in on our finances. Like I stopped working while I was still pregnant, and I stopped working for 2 years. I just started working again, and I've only been working for 6 months. So I told him, I was like, we need to tighten our finances up if we're going to be able to do this, because we're going to live under one income. And these days, like, we're going to have just one income. And you know
Right,
what?
right.
God made it happen for us, but we were we were very
You did your part.
focused.
You did your
We did
part.
our part. We were very focused. We realized there were certain things we couldn't buy. There were certain things we couldn't do. I told him to unsubscribe from a lot of stuff, a lot of like ads, because that feeds to you too. You feel like, oh my God, I need to have it just because it's
Yes.
50% off. And you're just like, why? I don't need it. I don't need it. Half of the time, we didn't need a lot of the things we were subscribed to. We were just buying it because it was showing up, because it was in an ad in our email.
And I think this is so important for everyone really to listen, but especially for young adults because they are, man, I was gonna say we are, but they are, and
They, they.
it's just the good hair, the
Thank
skincare
you.
and the hair, but they are in such pivotal years and moments of their lives and comparing themselves with whatever they are watching with their algorithm and echo chamber that they have online, it can be very dangerous. Well, it can be very, positive and such a blessing.
Yeah.
We really hope that whatever we are talking here gives them some insight
Yes.
to think about the purpose, just as you've been bringing up, Barbara and Cameron, this whole idea of inspirational, aspirational aspects of our use of social media, because man, it's tricky and it's sneaky
Mm.
the way that this can become dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I, I didn't want
Wow.
to. Yeah. I didn't want to bring us down, but just wanted to make
No,
that
you're
clear.
you're absolutely right. It can make you feel like you're doing absolutely nothing, even though
Yeah.
you're trying to do everything. It could
Hmm.
still make you feel empty. It could still make you feel like I'm getting nowhere. I'm doing everything that this influencer is showing me to do, and I'm still not getting the gains. I'm still not getting the pockets. I'm still not going on the
Right.
vacations. Like I'm still
Or
not
wearing
doing
the
that.
sneakers, wearing the
Yeah, I'm
whatever,
still not
and
living that life. Right, right.
yeah.
So
Mhm.
it could feel like even though you're doing everything, you're still gaining absolutely nothing. And it's again because there's no purpose behind it. There's no drive. You're just doing it
Mm.
because you want to be like this person.
Wow. Wow.
Woo!
I
Oh
know.
yeah.
My God. I wish we had more time, but
Right?
so I think that maybe if we were to close and if we took social media away,
Hmm.
because at some point we're going to talk about social media detox, right, Cameron, on this
Yes.
podcast.
Oh my goodness.
Right. So
That's a hard one.
if we were to take the social media away, how how would we define worth? And I think another way to see this question would be, how could we influence or impact our worth without social media?
Mm. This is a great question. Great
Wow.
question. Great question.
Wow. I
I'll,
haven't. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, 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 please. Please.
No, I was just gonna say, like, I didn't always have social media, and even though we started all on Facebook, Facebook was never really used as like Instagram is used right now. Like, I don't even
Mhm.
think my Facebook has an algorithm, but my Instagram for sure knows what I want to watch.
Definitely.
Right? Like
Yes.
my Facebook shows me the most
My
random stuff. It's like it's still trying to figure me out, but my Instagram knows me, right? So I remember when I started in social media, it was just I'm gonna post the cute picture or I feel good today, so I'm gonna post that picture and I'm out and about, I'm going to post that picture, but I still had goals that I wanted to accomplish. And they didn't necessarily reflect the content that I was watching on social media. It was just like, these are my personal goals, and this is what I want to accomplish. And only the people really
Mhm.
in my circle got to see that progress. And then my social media just got the day that I graduated or the day that I got the job, right? But they didn't really get to see like the process of me trying to accomplish that. If social media didn't exist today, I think we would go back to that. I think it
Mhm.
would be more of like, I'm more goal oriented now. I
Yeah.
actually get to sit down and think about what do you want out of life, what it is that you want to accomplish, and actually focus and get that done for myself.
Yeah.
Bottom line, like I think social media definitely does distract us, and we tend to want to do what everybody else is doing or what we think everybody else is doing, right? Again, because that's the magic of our algorithm, just showing us the same thing over and over again. So we think everybody is doing that, but it's really only like 10% of the social media world
Right.
that is
Right.
doing that, or maybe less, right? But we
Yeah.
think everybody is doing it because that's what the algorithm wants you to think. So you could also post that too, so it can grow. But
Yeah.
if that didn't exist, you could see what everybody else around you is doing. If they're going to school, if they're getting, their degrees, if they're trying to get, financially stable, whatever it is. And then that focus now becomes towards you.
Yeah.
And now you get to actually sit and think, what do I want out of life? What do I want to figure out? Do I want to go back to school? Do I want to stay in my job? Do I really like my job? I feel like a lot of people in our age group don't like their jobs. They're just doing it because I need a job and I
Right.
need to make money. But if they really thought
Laziness.
about it, yeah, if they really thought about it, they would just sit there and be like, I don't really care for my job. It's just a job.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But like, why are you still doing it? There are so many other
Purpose.
jobs.
Again, purpose. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's really good. I would say I think that it may be unfamiliar at first, but ultimately freeing because I don't know as clergy, I have to use faith language here, and I have to say I think it will allow us to remember that worth isn't earned, but it's received. God has
Yes.
given us our worth. And because of you spoke about this, Barbara, the performative nature of social media and our digital platforms at time, where a world where our digital devices are silenced. I think that we'll rediscover life and
Mhm.
life that is truly communal and connected to presence. So,
Mhm.
yeah, that's a good question. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna name, I don't know if you guys want to keep this, but I recently saw Wicked,
Uh-huh.
and obviously it's not a Christian movie, but the whole personality of the good witch and the bad witch was created by everyone else.
Mm.
It's not who they truly were. It's what
Yeah.
everybody else wanted them to be.
Yes.
So it
Yes.
was like the spotlight was on these two people, and all they had to do was play that role.
Mm,
And that's why Elphaba became the bad witch, because she wasn't about it. She was like, you're full of it, the wizard, you have zero magic, you're full of it, and I'm not going to sit here and lie to all these people. So that's why she became the bad witch. But Galinda was about it. She was like, I like that people look at me as an influencer, and I love that people love me. So I'm going to play that role, and I'm going to fake it till I make it. And she sure
Mm.
did, until the end,
Yes.
where, if you haven't seen it, I don't want to ruin it, but
Oh, no, don't spoil it. No, no, no
no, but
spoilers.
it just made me realize like how, even though this movie obviously is completely different and is dressed up into so many other things, it does bring us back to that reality. Are we
Yeah.
who we are because of our wants and this is what, our purpose, or are we just showing up the way people want to see us?
Mm.
Are we just doing it because that's how people
Wow.
like me? Or am I doing it because this is really who I am? Like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, am I, and it'll reflect back to like your own family life, like are you showing up to your kids the way you show up to people? Or are you two different people? Like, are you one person at home and one person outside of your house?
Wow. Yeah.
So it's,
Wow.
yeah. So it's one of those where it's like you have to really dig deep and realize who you are as a person, not only on social media, but just in your life in general. Like who
Right.
you are as
Right.
a person and what good do you want to live in this world? Like, what is it that you want to do for the good of mankind? Like, right? Like that's selflessness, not just for me, but for others as well.
Yes, yes. And it takes a lot of, introspection and internal work, and that's okay. And that's why,
Yeah.
we don't have to walk this journey alone. We have pastors, we have therapists, we have mental health coaches, we have friends, we have uh people and programs like the ones we offer here at NBA, that all of the many resources that we can have so that we can continuously discover who we are without necessarily falling into the
Yes.
comparison trap. So, my God, Barb, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Just
Thank you for
so
having me. This
grateful.
was
I know that
awesome.
there's so many things that we wish we could have touched on, but I'm pretty sure that what we talked will land on people's minds, hearts, and souls in ways that we expected. So we're just so grateful that you joined us for this deep dive on comparison and belonging online.
Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Listen, on our next episode, it'll be episode 3, the both and dilemma. We're going to dwell on the question, can digital community truly meet our need, or does it leave us feeling empty? And we'll be joined by Reverend Taylor Lancaster, who is a Gen Z pastor of one of the oldest Black Baptist churches in Massachusetts.
Yes, and so as a follow-up, because we just want to keep this conversation going beyond the duration of this podcast, so we will ask you on the comments, or if you want to tag us on social media and share this and tag us on social media, but share your reflections with us about what stood out today. We said a lot of things. We
Oh,
talked a whole
yes.
bunch. We would love to hear what stood out to you. If you want to go and follow Barb, go ahead. Her handle will be on the comments and it might be showing up here. And so go do that and have fun with her videos. It's just so cool to see her doing her cafecito in the morning and dropping, some blessing and a word for you. But drop a comment, connect with us on social media, and stay tuned for the next episode.
Yes. Thank you again, friends. Barbara, thank you. Betty, thank you. Listeners, thank you. Until next time, keep practicing authenticity and grace, both online and offline. Until then, be well.
All right. Bye bye.